They said it was impossible. They said the era of independent engine builders was dead. But in 2025, behind closed doors in Formula One, something is stirring, something that could rewrite the sport's future. A legendary name, a name that powered 170 Grand Prix victories, a name that made champions out of underdogs, a name that defined the golden age of Formula One. And now, it's coming back. Cosworth. Yes, that Cosworth, the British engineering legend that built the greatest F1 engine of all time. And right now, they're reportedly in talks with the FIA to return to Formula One in 2026. Before you dismiss this as rumor or nostalgia, listen closely, because this story isn't built on wishful thinking. It's built on timing, technology, and a rule change that might finally bring the independent engine builder back into the spotlight. Formula One is facing a quiet crisis, not a crisis of speed or drama, but a crisis of diversity. Right now, the entire grid runs on engines from only 4 manufacturers: Mercedes, Ferrari, Honda, and soon Red Bull, Ford. 4 names, 4 powerhouses, 4 giants. And while that has pushed performance to extraordinary levels, it has also created a closed system, one where only the biggest automotive corporations can compete. The FIA wants to change that. They want more options, more competition, more innovation. They want to return to the era when a small team could buy an engine and challenge the giants. And in the conversations happening behind the scenes, one name keeps surfacing: Cosworth. If you're new to Formula One, you might be wondering, who is Cosworth and why does it matter? Cosworth isn't just another engine maker, it's F1 history. From the late 1960s to the 1980s, their engines won over 170 Grand Prix races and powered 12 different teams to victory. Their legend was the DFE engine, the double 4 valve. Introduced in 1967, it became the most successful naturally aspirated engine in F1 history. It was powerful, reliable, and affordable. Before the DFE, winning meant being a factory team with massive resources. The DFE changed that. Smaller teams like Lotus, Tyrrell, Williams, and McLaren suddenly had a fighting chance. It wasn't just an engine. It was a revolution. It dominated for 16 years, or from its first win in 1967 to its last in 1983, in a sport where technology evolves at lightning speed. So why did Cosworth leave? Because F1 changed. It got more expensive, more complex, and eventually moved into hybrid power units. The costs became impossible for an independent builder. Cosworth's last F1 run was in 2013, and when the V6 turbo hybrid era began in 2014, the price of entry soared past £200 million. So Cosworth bowed out, but they didn't disappear. They evolved. Cosworth continued building engines in IndyCar, endurance racing, and other series, always known for reliability and performance. And crucially, they've been investing heavily in hybrid technology through their Hypervolt initiative, developing battery systems, hybrid modules, and advanced control units. Those are the exact technologies F1 will need in 2026. In other words, Cosworth has been preparing for modern F1 without actually being in it, quietly, patiently, like a storm forming offshore. If you're enjoying this breakdown and want more deep dives into F1's biggest stories, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what comes next. Now, the 2026 regulations are a game changer. They create the perfect conditions for Cosworth's return. First, there's a cost cap for power units, estimated around $130 million per year. Still massive, but far less than the unlimited budgets of the past. That levels the playing field. The FIA is reportedly considering additional support for independent builders, including shared testing facilities and collaborative R&D programs. That means Cosworth wouldn't be alone. And the 2026 power units will be completely different from what we have now. That matters because it plays directly into Cosworth's strengths. They've always been masters of efficient, reliable engineering. They know how to do more with less, and in a cost-capped F1 world, that skill becomes gold. The sport is returning to a model where smart engineering and efficiency matter more than unlimited budgets. The barriers that pushed Cosworth out in 2014 are being removed, and that's why this return isn't just possible, it's probable. For Cosworth, it's a chance to return to the pinnacle of motorsport. Formula One remains the most prestigious racing series in the world. Success here brings credibility, technological advancement, and commercial opportunities no other series can match. For the FIA, bringing back Cosworth would be a massive win. It would diversify power unit supply, increase competition, and bring back a legendary name that resonates with longtime fans. It would also prove that the new regulations are working by attracting independent manufacturers. For teams, another supplier means more options and better deals. Competition drives innovation and controls costs. And for fans, imagine it. Cosworth back on the grid, connecting modern F1 to its golden era in a tangible, audible way. Then there's the Ford factor. Ford is returning to F1 through Red Bull in 2026. Their historical connection to Cosworth suddenly becomes relevant again. Some insiders speculate Ford could support Cosworth behind the scenes, giving them resources without running two full programs. It would be a strategic way for Ford to expand its presence without doubling its commitments. If you want more inside access to F1 rumors, technical analysis, and the biggest stories in the paddock, drop a comment below and tell us what you want us to cover next. But let's be real, a Cosworth return would not be easy. There are massive challenges. The money issue remains. Even with cost caps, $130 million per year is a huge investment. Cosworth would need serious backing. They'd face the competition of Mercedes, Ferrari, Honda, and Red Bull Ford, organizations with decades of hybrid experience and immense resources. Modern F1 power units are complex machines with thousands of parts and millions of lines of code. And Cosworth would need customers. No team will switch to an unproven engine without a strong reason. So Cosworth would likely need to partner with a new team or convince an existing one to take a risk. And time is the most brutal factor. Developing a competitive power unit takes years. If Cosworth wants to be ready for 2026, they need to start now. So what is actually happening? Here's what we know. The FIA has confirmed they're open to new engine manufacturers and actively encouraging entries for 2026 and beyond. Cosworth has publicly expressed interest, saying the new regulations make a return feasible for the first time in years. There have been discussions between Cosworth representatives and FIA officials, but nothing is officially announced. And Ford's return has reignited interest, given the historical connection between the two. Multiple paddock sources suggest exploratory talks have taken place. But for now, the truth is still behind closed doors. So what does this all mean? It means Formula One could be standing at a crossroads. One path leads to continued consolidation, where only giant corporations can compete. The other path leads back to diversity, innovation, and the return of independent engineering. Cosworth's comeback would not just be a nostalgic story, it would be proof that Formula One can still be a place where engineering brilliance matters more than budgets. It would be a bridge between the golden era and the modern era, an echo of the past shaping the future. And if it happens, it will remind us all why Formula One is more than speed. It's history, it's innovation, it's the constant pursuit of the impossible. And right now, the impossible might be coming back. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to channel name and hit the bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Because the story of Cosworth is far from over.